Fortnite Battle Royale in itself is already a pretty mechanical game with the ability to build structures to not only defend yourself, but to also offensively push other players is something that other games just don't have. And if you were to factor in that you could edit these structures, Fortnite is one of the most mechanically complex multiplayer games today. For the fighting styles, there are definitely lots of ways you could fight other players, but one offensive and defensive style that stands out particularly is boxfighting. Boxfighting is a term where there are two players and they compete in close quarter combat, usually in a small area, forming the shape of a box. That's why it's called boxfighting. Boxfighting is also one of the more common types of fights you will encounter while playing the game, so it's good to have a pretty good sense of how to boxfight. There are a multitude of factors that go into how good a player is at boxfighting, like reaction speed, how fast you can edit, aim, and quite a lot more. But some factors that a lot of lower level players tend to overlook is latency. Latency is the delay it takes for an input to be registered from the input, for example, your mouse click, to the server, where it will register the input and send the input to the game. Like the factors that make a good box fighter, there are factors that make up the delay, how good your delay is. The polling rate of your mouse, the refresh rate and pixel speed of your monitor, and also your PC specs could make a significant difference in delay. The mouse input has to be sent to your PC, then the PC has to send it to the server where it could be registered. It's not just the latency of your peripherals and PC, but the latency of your connection. Think about where you live and the distance you are from the closest Epic Games used server. If you don't already have your network settings displayed, you can go to Cloud Ping, as the in-game ping counter isn't truly accurate anyway. What is ping? Ping is the latency between you and your connection to the server. The closer you live to a server, the less ping latency you are going to have. If you aren't caught up on Fortnite's pro scene, the pros are all moving to Dallas, Texas, because there's a Fortnite server there, and living there will allow you to have the lowest ping possible. Now, for people like me, I don't live in Dallas, I don't have the money to move there, and I don't have the money to afford a high-end PC. My ping is around 40 to 60, which is honestly not that bad, but the reason it's not great is because I play in NA West, in which case the majority of the people living here in California are going to have significantly lower ping than this. Of course, there are people who live further away from California, or further away from me in California, and I can tell. I'm sometimes able to take walls even with the input delay I get with my very old PC specs. And I'm here to tell you, you could definitely be able to box fight a lot better even with higher ping and high input delay. For context, I am on an AMD GPU, which means I have more input delay on performance mode, which is of course what I play on, and I use Wi-Fi instead of Ethernet because there is no way I could use Ethernet where I currently am. Along with my geographical location, these factors all combine and I honestly get a noticeable delay, but this is because I've also been playing this game for a long time and I've been in the city closer to San Francisco on a better gaming setup, so I can notice just how much quicker it feels than my current setup. Lower delay is a hugely significant advantage, as you are much more capable of making more plays, as everything is just so much quicker and smoother, and I could only wish I could play with less delay, but still I'm able to box fight quite decently on this setup. Best strategies for playing on higher delay are: be cool, don't panic, because you're more likely to make mistakes if you're freaking out, don't get nervous, keep your calm. Another one is to play off the enemy. I think it was a YouTuber named Jiven who posted a video about fighting on higher ping, and as I was watching the video, it made a lot of sense. The way he played matched the way I typically play, where I'm waiting for the enemy to make a move. In this play, as I go for the wall, I know that he is low because I pump him for so much, so I edit a window and I wait for him through the cone, because I don't want to try to replace the cone, and I pre-fire him. Right here we're really close to each other, but in a diagonal box, so I edit out to the left and as a bait, so I'm able to take his left wall and I pump him for a good amount. He wasn't paying attention to where I was, and I managed to get the kill. In this play, the guy's firing at my wall, so I go to pre-fire, and as I pre-fire, I edit the cone so I can trap him. As I back up to make space, I reset the cone and I reset the wall to bait his shot. Then I edit wide and I go for the pump. And again, what I've been doing is I've been playing off the enemy and I've been baiting my enemy's shots. So as I pokeball this guy, I bait him by editing the cone and then resetting the wall immediately. As he shoots, I go for a counter pump. I hit a big headshot and he backs away. So the thing you have to understand about high delay is that you can't really play too aggressive. Lower delay just gives you that confidence because you know you could make those plays. When on higher delay, you aren't going to be able to, and you risk a chance of getting shot. That does not mean you have to play entirely passive. I mean, I play pretty aggressively, even with a bit of delay, but when you use the strategy of playing off the enemy and waiting for them to make a move, sometimes baiting moves, then it gives you a fighting chance against someone who has flawless delay. And keep in mind, I'm playing creative, which the ping in here is significantly lower than Battle Royale ping, so it is slightly more fair to play creative. And in Battle Royale, it's likely going to be a lot more unfair because your ping is probably going to be worse in there. Unless, of course, you move to a city, big city with one of the servers, and you have a really good PC that can run Battle Royale at very high frame rates. I personally can barely hold about 90 FPS in Battle Royale. And if you have high delay, I just hope you found this video a little helpful. Let's hope that someday we could all live in Dallas and have some nice setups, you know. Thanks for watching. See ya.